Hello, this is me, it's Tim, and my hand. We're doing Police and the Black Man, okay? Book of essays, and we're reading the essay Boys to Men because I think it's very important that we deal with what's happening to our children. Some of our adults, it may be too late. Of course, they say it's never too late, but it's not too late for our children, and we must do something. I don't even have children, but I've worked in the school system, so I know it's been code red for at least 20 years. So I would encourage parents to do something. Racial disparities in school-based arrests likely communicate to black students that society does not value them. Perceived bias and discrimination undermine police legitimacy and weaken officers' moral authority among black youth. Consider a study of school-based arrests in McKinney, Texas, which found that disorderly conduct and disruption of class were the most common offenses charged by SROs from 2012 to 2015. Even more troubling, the study found that while African American students made up only 13% of the total school population in McKinney, they accounted for 53% of the disorderly conduct arrests and 43% of the disruption in class offenses charged. In this way, SROs significantly increased the racial disparity that already existed in McKinney student arrests. Similar stories can be told all over the country. In Delaware, black students accounted for 67% of all student arrests, although they made up only 32% of the student body. As in Texas, black students in Delaware were disproportionately arrested for disorderly conduct and fighting. On-the-street encounters, personal and vicarious trauma. Beyond family and school, youth come to understand the law and the role of law enforcement through their own personal and vicarious experiences with the police. Because black boys may hear about more instances of police violence than they actually see or experience. Their perceptions of law enforcement are also shaped by the collective group experiences of African Americans. National and international media attention to racial profiling and racially discriminatory police in the United States has increased considerably since the deaths of unarmed black men like Michael Brown and Eric Garner. With the increase of camera phones and personal videos, the dissemination of these stories is pervasive, and the vicarious trauma experienced from videotaped beatings and killings is extensive. These indirect and vicarious contacts with the police play a significant role in shaping black boys' long-term attitudes and future behaviors toward the police. Given the myriad of negative direct and indirect contacts young black males have with the police, it is no surprise that black boys have an especially low opinion of the police, particularly in socioeconomically disadvantaged communities where friction between the police and citizens is common. Research shows that while youth in general have less favorable attitudes toward the police than adults, black youth have even less favorable attitudes toward the police than white youth. Frequent contact between police and teenagers increases the risk of conflict and contributes to the negative attitudes that many young people have. However, unlike white youth, who tend to see police misconduct as an aberration, black male youth experience that misconduct as ubiquitous. Get some water. Black boys are angered not only by the sheer number of police officers patrolling their neighborhoods, but also by the frequency with which they are stopped and the treatment they experience or observe during these stops. In a recent qualitative study involving young black males in St. Louis, boys complained of persistent pedestrian stops, vehicle stops, and the assignment of specialized units and detectives to patrol their neighborhoods, making their friends and relatives reluctant to visit. Children grow up watching their friends and family members accosted for minor infractions like not wearing a seatbelt, having the windows too tinted, and playing the radio too loud. Black boys describe their neighborhoods as besieged by police who stop them like 5, 6 times a day, just to pat them down and ask questions. The experiences in St. Louis mirror those of youth in Washington, D.C., where youth who have been arrested once or often harassed repeatedly thereafter by the same officers. In one case, twin brothers were arrested 4 times by the same officers in a few short weeks for the most petty of offenses. At some point, even the prosecutors stopped charging the youths because it was clear that officers had a grudge against the boys, who were never engaged in any serious criminal behavior. I don't know. I know that we need to get rid of police, but we need something in its place. And I don't know that black people are serious about that yet. I'm ready to do a neighborhood watch, but I don't know anyone else who is in the neighborhood. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Until next time, please, thank you for supporting me, and take care of your mind, take care of your body, and be safe.